Raiden woke up in the noise of chirping birds in the heavens. He swung his legs over the side of his bed and grabbed his clothes, then placed on his hat and teleported to his temple in Earthrealm. He descended onto the ground and strolled around, keeping an eye on the people of the village. Suddenly a little girl ran up to Lord Raiden and hugged his leg. "Hello, little girl, how are you today?" Raiden greeted warmly. "Happy birthday, Lord Raiden," said the little girl and ran off. It hit Raiden's head suddenly. Today was his birthday and he forgot. He was like that of 10,001 years old now. Anyways, he teleported to Arctica to visit Sub-Zero. Raiden appeared in a thunderbolt and was approached by two Lin Kuei guards. "Halt! Who goes there?" a guard said. As soon as Raiden was visible to the guards, they both bowed in apology. "Lord Raiden, we didn't know it was you," the guard apologized. "You are forgiven. I would like to see Sub-Zero," Raiden replied. "Of course, Lord Raiden." The guard stood up and signaled for the door to be opened. Raiden stepped inside, entered the temple, and opened the door leading to Sub-Zero's office. "Oh, hello, Raiden. What are you doing here?" Sub-Zero asked. "Just checking to see how things are going," Raiden replied as he sat down. Sub-Zero took out a calendar and began reading it. Suddenly his eyes widened and he had a huge grin plastered on his face. "What?" Raiden asked and raised an eyebrow. Oh, nothing. I'll be right back," Sub-Zero replied, then walked out of the office. Raiden just sat there in confusion until he heard Sub-Zero call his name. Raiden walked out of the office, and to his surprise, he saw all the Lin Kuei warriors and Sub-Zero all happy, and they said in allusion, "Happy birthday, Raiden!" Raiden's eyes widened even more, and he groaned in annoyance. "Raiden, you never told us today was your birthday," Sub-Zero teased and patted Raiden on the back. "Oh, I need some air," Raiden lied, and disappeared with a clap of lightning. Raiden arrived back in his temple in Earthrealm and meditated. Suddenly a gust of wind blew. Fujin appeared. "Happy birthday, Raiden," Fujin greeted happily. Raiden again groaned in annoyance. "I have a present for you." Fujin then pulled out a box of wrapped gift wrap. "Fujin, you shouldn't have." Raiden took the gift and began to unwrap it. After he took all the wrapping paper and the box open, he pulled it out and a new staff. "Wow, this is amazing, Fujin. Thank you." Raiden gave the God of Wind a hug and admired his new weapon. "You're welcome, Raiden. So, are you planning on having a party?" Fujin asked curiously. "A party? No way," Raiden replied, and put the staff down. "Aw, why not?" Fujin whined. "Because I am a god and I don't have time to party," Raiden replied and meditated again. Fujin walked towards a window and saw people celebrate. "Well, it looks like a lot of people in Earthrealm are partying," Fujin said, and walked around in the circle. "I said no parties, Fujin. End of case," Raiden said bluntly, and meditated once again. "Okay, fine, no party," Fujin replied and disappeared. Fujin then reappeared in Edenia and entered the royal palace. "Hello? Is someone home?" Fujin asked out loud. Suddenly a steel fan struck the wall a few inches from his face. "Fujin, is that you? I'm sorry, I didn't recognize you." Princess Kitana apologized and hugged the God of Wind. "It's alright, Kitana. Where is your mother?" Fujin asked. "She's outside sparring with Jade." "Why?" Kitana asked. "Well, guess what today is?" Kitana raised an eyebrow. "Today is Raiden's birthday!" Fujin squealed, to which it was unlikely for a god to do. "Really? We should hold a party for him," Kitana squealed in excitement. "Yeah, we should, but Raiden said no party," Fujin replied, which bummed out the princess. "But we're going to still throw him a party anyway," Fujin exclaimed happily. "I knew it! We should find my mother and Jade and tell them about the party," Kitana explained. They both went outside to look for Sindel and Jade. It wasn't too difficult to search for Sindel and Jade. They were both spotted near a river sparring with each other. "Mother, Jade, we have some good news," Kitana yelled out to the two women. Both the she-warriors stopped fighting to see what Kitana called them. "What is it, Kitana?" Jade asked. "Today is Lord Raiden's birthday," Fujin finished. "Really? We should throw a party for him," Sindel exclaimed. "We are, but it's going to be a surprise party because Raiden didn't want a party, but we're going to throw him one anyway." Fujin explained, to which it confused Jade. But first we need to get everybody's help for planning this party. Jade and Katana, you two are going to decorate the palace. Fujin will create the invitations and I will make the food. Everyone got it? Sindel explained. They all nodded in agreement and began doing their jobs. Fujin already made invitations for Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Ermac, Cyrax, Striker, Dairu, Darius, Bullride Cho, Nightwolf, Mocat, Johnny Cage, Jax, Kai, Kenshi, Shijinko, Taven, Liu Kang, Kun Lao, Sonya, Ashra, Li Mei, Frost, and Serena. Jade and Katana did very well in decorating the palace, and Sindel needed a little help with cooking. Everyone finally arrived, especially the villains arrived to Raiden's birthday party. The entire kingdom of Edenia attended the party. Many people were laughing and dancing, and they were all having a good time. Master Boraicho was drunk as ever, and he kept puking everywhere, so he was put outside into the courtyard. Quan Chi and Shang Sheng were also drunk and kept hitting on the girls, who ended up both the sorcerers getting slapped. Onaga did tell all the other bosses from the game who were all dancing on the dance floor like crazy. Melina was grinding on Baraka extremely hard, to which it actually turned him like crazy. See, Kenshi and Li Mei were been talking at the table. Sonya, Jax, and Johnny were all dancing in a threesome, and Sonya was drunk as a skunk. The others were having a pretty good time. He's here, Katana shouted. All the lights were dimmed and everyone got into their hiding place. Raiden opened the door and looked around. Hello, Sindel? I got your letter. But why do you need me to... But Raiden was cut off when everyone jumped down and yelled, Surprise! Happy birthday, Raiden! Raiden jumped up and was greeted by everyone. Even Shao Kahn greeted him. But apparently he was drunk and having a nice drunk at that. Hello, brother. Happy day, Shao Kahn said in the drunken slur and collapsed on the ground. Well, that was strange, Raiden said and approached Fujin, who was having a girl grind on him. Fujin! Raiden yelled. Oh, hey, man. You like the party? Fujin asked, as he gripped on the girl's hips. I need to talk to you, Raiden said in the loud music. Okay, just wait one more minute, okay? Okay? Fujin told the girl, who winked at him. Now, what do you want to talk about? Fujin asked. I thought you said you weren't going to throw me a party, Raiden asked furiously. But come on, lighten up, man, live a little, Fujin replied, and went back to grinding the girl. Raiden sighed in disappointment and walked over to Kenshi, but when he approached him, he saw Kenshi and Li Mei making out. Raiden decided to leave the two alone and walked towards Katana. Katana, when did you guys do all this? Raiden asked. We all got this prepared in one day, Raiden. Oh, and Ashra wants to see you, Katana replied as she pointed out to Ashra, who was waving seductively at Raiden. Okay then, Raiden said nervously, and walked towards Ashra. You wanted to see me, Ashra? Raiden asked, but he was surprised when Ashra pressed her lips against his. Ashra slipped her tongue inside of Raiden's mouth, and the feeling of it was so electrifying. How about me and you go into one of the rooms, Raiden? Ashra flirtatiously said, and led Raiden into an empty room. She closed the door behind her and dumped Raiden on the bed and continued making out with him on the bed. She threw both of their hats off and pulled something out of her pocket. What's that? Raiden asked. Ashra pulled it up to his face to reveal protection. Raiden's eyes widened in shock. Hope you're ready, big boy, Ashra said and kissed Raiden again, ripping off his shirt, revealing his nicely toned muscles. Ashra moaned in satisfaction and licked her lips. Where's Raiden? He's going to miss blowing out the candles on his cake, Liu Kang said. I don't know, but Scorpion, do you mind lighting the candles? Jax asked. Whatever, Scorpion replied. Blew fire from his mouth, lighting all 10,001 candles on the cake. Everyone cheered out loud and waited for Raiden to arrive. Look, here he is, Katana shouted. They all looked to Raiden and saw his ripped shirt. His hair was messy and his hat was a bit out of place, but his face looked satisfied. The same went for Ashra. Whoa, what happened to you two? Sindel asked. I'll be right back. I'll see you later, big boy. Ashra winked at Raiden and walked away. Damn, Raiden, I didn't know you had it in you, Johnny teased, to which it caused the Thunder God to blush a bit. Well, yeah, I never knew Ashra was a screamer, Raiden admitted and scratched the back of his head. Wow, Raiden, you're that good? Maybe I should give you a try, Raiden. Jade cooed and walked off. Wow, Rain, all in one night, well, Liu Kang said, and patted Raiden on the back. Well, I hope you had a great birthday today, Raiden. Now blow out your candles, Katana squealed. Raiden walked up to the cake and blew out all of his candles. Everyone cheered and shouted in joy. Thank you for coming to my birthday, everyone, Raiden said, and cut the first piece of cake and handed it to Katana, and so on and so on. Well, and that, my pretties, was Raiden's birthday. A Mortal Kombat fanfiction written by Super Silent K. This is an older story. I just noticed that this story was written back in 2009, so that's like 16 years ago, which it will be by the time it's released. Now, anyway, I just wanted to sit here and, get this review out of the way because, yeah, I could definitely say it's a good story. I personally really enjoyed it. I mean, it's a little NSFW at some places, but yeah, I had to censor a few words because they were not ad friendly, if that makes total sense. But I'll leave a link to the story so you guys can go and have a look at this one. I haven't done a Mortal Kombat story in a long time. I think the last time I did was Mortal Kombat.exe. So, I personally do have to say, the fact that Raiden is like 10,001 years old in this story, I'm not even sure if he's 10,000. I would have to look in the Mortal Kombat wiki, but if you guys are in the Mortal Kombat community and you happen to know his actual age, you can let me know in the comments below because I like to hear it. I like to hear it. Like, I'm generally curious about how old Raiden actually is. But he's looking good for his age. And the fact that he and Ashra ended up going at it, as you could tell, I obviously knew they were gonna go at it. I'm not gonna say what they actually did, but you guys can get the picture of that. So, because it's not ad friendly for me to go into too much detail, and yeah, if I go into too much detail, YouTube could age restrict this video. I'm not saying they would, but that I had to censor some words to make it as ad friendly as possible, if that makes total sense. But I personally really enjoyed this story. I mean, the grammar is really good. I did notice a few punctuation errors, at some parts. And I did notice, there were places that should have been commas, but instead they were either periods or they were, not there. So the story was a little hard to read at some parts, but this story wasn't so bad. I thought it was a really, really good story. And I personally have to say, it's a really good one. I personally really enjoyed this one a whole lot. I thought it was a really neat story. And yeah, I do have to really say that, I do ship Ashra and Raiden, so yeah, that's something. And the fact that Raiden does not like his birthday and he doesn't want any parties. I do know my dad doesn't like birthday parties, so he'd be on the same boat as Raiden. And hey, Dad, if you're watching this, major shout out to you, by the way. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I know my dad doesn't like his birthday, but I still wish him happy birthday regardless because you know because he's still my dad and he watches this channel too. So if you want to subscribe to my dad, you're more than welcome to. I might, give him a birthday shout out in my community post so you guys can follow him if you want. It's not required. I'm not saying you have to, but if you want to go support my dad, you can. He's not really into social media, so he's not like really a social media person per se. I just think, he's pretty cool in or all the way. Like he's a really cool person. Like my dad. I mean, I've known him for years. So anyways, back to the story. I could definitely understand, why, Raiden does not like his birthday. And it obviously does explain, why he doesn't like his birthday. I mean, it's definitely a good one. This is definitely a really good story. I personally really thought it was really enjoyable. And there's a sequel to this story called Raiden's a Daddy. I will see if I could find the time to narrate that one, but I can't guarantee when that will be out. So yeah, that's gonna depend on when I have the opportunity to narrate it and that, because I'm still looking at, trying to find some good stories to narrate and stuff like that. So, yeah, you could definitely see. And my life has been really busy, so yeah, which is kind of is why, I'm slow on certain topics of videos that I really want to do. And yeah, anyway, really good story. I definitely do enjoy it. I mean, the punctuation needs to be revised. Like, there should be commas in this. Instead, they were just replaced with periods. I mean, it's not hate to the author or anything, but if the author happens to stumble across this video, I hope he or she, realizes that, the mistakes that were in the story. And I'm pretty sure maybe they have gone to write, better stories in the future, which I'm generally curious as if that's the case. I'm generally curious, so but yeah, I doubt the author is going to come across it, but if they do happen to stumble across it, then that'd be awesome. But like I said, this is just simply my own personal opinion, and if you happen to disagree with it, that's perfectly fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to these stories. This is just simply my own personal thoughts. I give this story a 9 out of 10. Mainly because the punctuation marks do need to be revised, and instead they were replaced with periods. And the story was a little hard to read at some parts, so that's why the story is getting a 9 out of 10. But everything else was pretty good. I personally really enjoyed this. I thought it was a really neat and well done story. I really do have to say, if you guys want to go read this story, I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can go read this story if you want. It's a really good one. I personally really thought it was enjoyable. It's really well done. And I do enjoy, the concept of this story and the enjoyability of it. So, yeah, I mean, despite the grammatical errors, I mean, I spotted a few of them, and despite some of the punctuation errors that I did notice, there was a few punctuation errors. I mean, there weren't a lot of them, but there were a few of them. But yeah, anyways, that's just mainly what I'm trying to get at. But the story wasn't so bad. It was a pretty good one. Anyways, what did you guys personally think of this story? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what you have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Feel free to let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I'm Shadow the Lion Queen. I want to thank you so much for watching today's video, and if you enjoyed this channel, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell for notifications to when I upload, so that way you guys will not miss an upload. As always, if you guys want to go follow me on Blue Sky, follow me on Twitter, follow me on DeviantArt, and follow me on my backup channel known as Miss Dark Shigo, as links to those will be in the About page section, so you guys can go follow me on there if you want. And yeah, I mean, if you guys want me to do more Mortal Kombat fanfictions or creepypastas or whatever, let me know in the comments below, because I generally want to try and do more of these Mortal Kombat fanfictions, but a good majority of them are kind of NSFW because, yeah, I'm definitely going to say they go into some subject matters, but if I do find a half decent Mortal Kombat story, I might consider narrating it, as long as it's appropriate. That's all I have to really say, as long as it's appropriate. Now, anyways, I'll be catching you guys all in the next video, and peace out, and like always, I'll be seeing you in the next video. Peace out, and like always, roll the outro, because I'm out.
What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload, so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Miss Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, please stay pretty.